Good day everyone, my name is Berkster Ibanez. In this video, I'm gonna discuss about restorative justice versus therapeutic modalities, and also the restorative justice and the retributive justice.
When a crime is committed, people are hurt. No matter what kind of crime: theft, vandalism, break and enter, harassment, intimidation, armed robbery, physical assault, homicide. Every situation is unique, but that doesn't mean you're alone. Restorative justice can help. Restorative justice is an approach that focuses on addressing the harm caused by crime, meaningful accountability, and meeting the needs of the people involved through safe and voluntary dialogue. Restorative justice processes provide a safe way for victims, offenders, community members, and others affected by a crime to talk about what happened. Victims can explain how the crime affected them and ask questions like, how did this happen? Why me? Is it going to happen again? What's going to happen to the person who did this to me? How do I go on from here? Often, offenders wonder, what can I do to repair the harm? How can I make things better? What does the victim need from me? The process helps offenders understand how others were affected by their actions and take responsibility for those actions, for the harm they caused, and for repairing that harm. RJ processes are voluntary, inclusive, and flexible. They can take different forms and offer different levels of involvement. These processes are guided by a skilled facilitator who will create and maintain a safe, sensitive, and respectful environment for participants to communicate in an open and honest way. People who have participated in a restorative justice process have experienced reparation, recognition, understanding, empowerment, improvements in health and well-being, positive change.
Retribution is a primary, perhaps the primary justification for punishment. It has been historically, and my guess is it still remains so morally. Essentially, retribution holds that the punishment should fit the crime. That the more serious the crime, the greater the punishment should be. The less serious the crime, the less the punishment should be. Opponents of retribution have often equated it with revenge. But retribution is not revenge. They do come from a common wellspring, and that is a desire to inflict pain and suffering on those who have inflicted pain and suffering on others. But there's a huge difference between retribution and revenge. Revenge need not be proportional, and revenge need not be appropriately directed. If a member of my community kills a member of your community, and then you kill my entire community, you are engaging in revenge. You are not engaging in retribution, because it is not deserved, and it is not limited, and it is not proportional. Retribution requires that it be limited, proportionally directed, and deserved. Revenge does not. Now again, those who attack retribution on the grounds that it's nothing but revenge ought to understand a couple of things, which is, if retribution is revenge, then deterrence is terror. And Thomas Hobbes knew that. A great anti-retributivist that he was, the first author of the first modern book of psychology, first modern book of economics. When he said, the aim of punishment, A-Y-M-E, the aim of punishment is not revenge, it's terror. Because that's what deterrence is. Deterrence is terrorism. We threaten you with pain and suffering in order to terrify you out of doing what you otherwise might be inclined to do. So retribution requires that the punishment should fit the crime. Now, what makes a crime more or less serious so that it should have more or less punishment attaching to it? Traditionally, it's the culpable mental state. That is to say, intent is worse than recklessness, recklessness is worse than negligence, and of course negligence is worse than a pure accident. And then within intent, we've classically distinguished various types that are more or less serious.